Today let me tell you about the purchase that I have done today. I have purchased a bunch, or you can say 4 pots of Gerbera plants. Gerbera plants are such beautiful plants. You have often seen them in flower bouquets and in other flower arrangement, and it is just like those beautiful flowers telling you that the world is so beautiful. I picked up 4 pots of the Gerbera plants. You can see all these 4 colors here. So let us start. I'll tell you about the prices of the plant, what research I have done so that I can take care of this plant and slowly unfold them to you. Here we start. Okay, this is a white variety or the white color Gerbera plant. This Gerbera daisy was sold to me in this pot. It has about 2 or 3 offshoots coming off from the pot. He mentioned to me that the soil here is coco peat, and this plant in particular, or the other plants as well, were tied together. This is the next pot. It is a lovely red color. It already has its 4 stalks. 3 are already in full bloom and the other one is just unfolding. A lovely color. Well, the next color that I have purchased is a lovely orange, or a nice burnt orange. Of course, yes, the stalks are broken. This is when you find speed breakers on the road and you do not care to slow down. I've lost both the flowers in that process, but then there are new buds which will grow and flower soon. And the last pot is this lovely sunshine yellow, which I have picked. Actually, at the nursery there were so many colors. I was like getting crazy. I did not know which one I could pick. I was supposed to pick just 2, but then looking at the colors, I picked up so many. Another peculiar feature, if you have noticed, of these pots is most or all the pots were like tied together with this jute string. I did ask the nursery guy, why have you tied it, because it's going to break the leaves. But then he said they do not have space in the nursery, so to keep the leaves from falling down, okay, and getting spoiled, they have tied them together due to lack of space at the nursery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the tied stalks, and let's see how it looks after that. Okay, this is how it looks after you open up or cut off the strings. It looks really bushy and it like has just opened out completely and looks like a Gerbera plant. And after opening up, I can see lot of buds in them, which is like giving me a positive or happiness because I have purchased this particular pot. Now the main aspect, I have got these 4 pots of different colors. Now how do I care about these plants? Now if you see the soil, or as mentioned by the nursery person, he said it is all coco peat. That is fine because it's been transported from another place coming into Goa, so it may be taking about 2 to 3 days. So in that process they want to keep the root moist. It's fine for transportation, but once it comes home, you cannot have coco peat as the only aspect of the total soil. So here, when I am going to repot them, I have to keep in mind to change the soil, which I'm going to do soon. I'm going to let it dry out maybe for a day or 2, and then transfer it or repot it to a new pot. With regards to the sunlight, at the nursery these pots were under the green net, so it is giving me an idea that it requires this partial shade. But with readings that I have done, this plant can be kept in full sunlight to medium sunlight or partly shaded areas. So I have already identified a spot for it where I am going to get at least minimum of 3 hours, which I am going to utilize for its healthy growth. The next thing is watering. Of course, I asked a nursery guy पानी कैसा देने का है and all, but he said उसको ज़्यादा पानी नहीं चाहिए. Of course, if you are using coco peat as the only composition of the soil, you do not require to water it on a regular basis. But then this plant requires moist soil. But that wouldn't mean that you would keep water in it. So when I'm doing that composition of soil and when it is potted, I would keep in mind that I do not over water it, and water it maybe only when the topmost layer goes dry. The 3 pointers that the nursery person has given me are that minimum of 3 hours of sunlight is required for this plant. He said about पानी ज़्यादा नहीं देने का, and the third aspect that he said 15 दिन के बाद एक बार DAP use करो, which is the manure or fertilizer for this plant. So this is what I'm going to keep in mind when I'm going to take care of this plant. Gerberas are permanent plant. It means that once you bring them home and if you give them the required amount of care, then they will be flowering again and again in your garden. Another aspect I kept pestering or asking the nursery person was whether I can separate this plants, as in I can already see 2 or 3 offshoots, can I separate it? For which he was not very sure. He said अगर मर गया तो आप मुझ पे डालेंगे and all that nonsense. So I think I'm going to read more about it and check out some videos and decide about separating them or propagating them, maybe by just taking one chunk of the root. And this is the last part of how the plants were when they were sold to me. What I have done is, or in fact the plant has come to them without a pot, and it is like this, all root bound, which they have like just kept it in the pot. It is not opened up or anything. The way it had come from the nursery by transportation is how they have sold it. So there is no way you can keep the same plant for a very long time, because eventually it would lead to its death. So I have to repot them, and I'm going to do this soon, maybe in another 2 days time, for which I will record a video and put it up. And yes, I have to tell you the prices of each pot. I have paid rupees 150 for each of this pot. So I paid 600 for this 4 pots. I would love to hear your comments about the purchase. Tell me about the prices, whether the prices are okay. If there's any particular suggestion you want to give me when I'm repotting these plants, I would love to hear all that. Thank you so much for watching, friends. Thank you. Bye.